I'd never even heard of the book. And Dino called me and said, "Do you know about this book?" And I said, "No, I never heard of it." And I thought he said June instead of Dune. And so I read it, and I had a meeting with Dino, and I liked him right away. I didn't know if I would like Dino, and I loved the book, and so we, started working together. But his daughter, Rafaela, was the producer, and she was fantastic, and she did a fantastic job of putting together a giant machine. We had, at one point, 1,700 people on the crew, building and doing all sorts of things. It's been very strange for me because these jumps from Eraserhead to Elephant Man to Dune are huge leaps. But Dune was a picture that took this much money, and so I never saw this money, and I just treated it as a normal picture. And it took 3.5 years to do it, working 6 days a week, but still the process of making the film is the same, tuning into this material and getting it somehow onto the screen. I didn't read science fiction. And Dune is a strange science fiction because it has other things, woven into it. It's not what you would call like just a space hardware science fiction picture. When you sort of try to tune into the material, you sort of feel what this essence is. And in Dune, some things could fall away, and I still felt that it was still saying Dune. And other things had to stay, because if they went away, it wouldn't say Dune. And so I just tried to tune into the material and be true to the book and get it down to a realistic length. It took a long time. It was a year and a half working on the script, and then many rewrites in the middle of shooting to make things more understandable. And I was always finding these little pieces of this puzzle. Suddenly I'd realize some part was missing and have to fix something. We went everywhere trying to find these people that would be these characters, and it didn't matter if they were had names or if they were totally unknown. We kind of were able to find them here and there, and find unknowns or people with names. It's hard to find someone who has certain qualities in one person, and those qualities are a quality of innocence, a quality of strength, and that could go into leadership, a quality of intelligence in the eyes, and a sort of a spiritual quality on top of that. And it sounds like there'd be many people that maybe could do this, but we never found it all in one person that way. Everybody in the film working with him said that Kyle is a natural, and he is a very good actor, and they respected him a lot because of his attitude and his seriousness about the whole thing. He'd never even seen a camera before, and we did a screen test. Was the first time he had ever been in front of a camera. I didn't want Sting because he was a rock star, and then I saw him in a film called Brimstone and Treacle, which I don't think has come to France, but it's a British picture, and I saw him, and I saw this, I said, he's got to be, he's perfect for this character. And now in many places in the world, people think Sting is almost the star of Dune, because during the time of Dune, he became a superstar. And now everybody puts pictures out with him, but then they become crazy because he's only got a small part in the picture. But he does a great job, and he was super to work with, but he's not the star of Dune. I felt in Mexico City that I was in a strange world and I was in a foreign, place. And when I'd finish shooting at night, I'd come home, but I was still never in a normal world. And it was a dream city. It was a romantic city. It had strange architecture. It had this mood to it. And it helped me a lot, always staying in this mood of Dune. David Paich of Toto came down to Mexico and I talked with him. And when you're sitting with someone talking to them, you start seeing things. And in David Paich, I saw lots and lots of music that he wanted to make that wasn't like Toto's music. And he's really a genius. He's got tremendous talent, musical talent that is never used, and many musicians I know are like this. They get into one sort of thing, but inside them is other things that wants to come out. And so he got a chance to do lots of different things. And then BRIAN ENO wrote a beautiful piece. So many of the scenes involved special effects, optical effects, and those sequences were storyboarded. But I hate storyboards because once you draw them, they want you to be locked into them, and you take them all apart, and you now start directing pieces of a picture. And then at the very end, all these pieces are supposed to fit together, but it's very frustrating because maybe somewhere in the middle you want to change some of these pieces. And I was lucky really because a lot of experts were with me, and they would say, yes, you can do this, we'll make it work, and you can change this and we'll make it work. But if they hadn't been there, I might have been locked into these things, and there's no room for change. And I like to plan things, but when you're working, suddenly you get a new idea. It's good to be able to do it, or you become crazy.